Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot to the Universe of Chinese, and welcome to a new month. And in this month, I guess I do it in 3 months. I'm going to focus on classical China. I like alliteration, so classical China sounds good. So this is a era after equestrian age, and that's, I guess, the formation of the core of what Chinese culture sounds like, looks like, and how it's reflected in our language. As a classical China, so basically after we incorporate horse into production, transportation, and warfare, then the expanse of the land that you can rule. Then this structure, this political structure that is set up to effectively run this land so that, I guess, people get their good lives and technology get improved. And most importantly, the rulers get their stable ruling. Like they have long term, I guess the top agendas from the perspective of rulers is they want to make sure themselves and the generations after them from their same bloodline is going to run the country to be the top. But we know the pack order of human society, who is on that tip. In I guess, a marketplace, open marketplace, people who got virtues, um, defined by their society would ideally be the leader, but sometimes it's not the case. It's by inheritance and by this um, passed down from generation to generation. You would not guarantee your offsprings come up to meet the standard to be a good ruler. So the whole history uh, during this classical China era, that's through so many dynasties, the land, the people would experience good and bad, wise and not so wise rulers over the years. And as a consequence, many people suffer or prosper. Um, so the role ruler, Jun, plays in this um, political system is so critical. I said it is because I guess even till today, is critical. That one man's decision, somewhat similar to in America, right? You have the president, the top executive branch, still got some checks and balance, but that one person can pull a lot of influence over how trade is done, for example, right? How things are talked about. So, so this ruler definitely throughout the history, I can almost say, um, even if today's president got terms, it's not the true ruler, it's not hereditary, it's totally like a from the competition, right? You have a presidential debate and election. So in that way, it's already set in a good system, um, different from the ruler back then through several millennia. That wait, millennia is already plural form. So through millennia, um, such ruler may made an oversized impact due to just one single person than necessary. Anyways, that's my rant and why we start from ruler concept to begin our classical China discussion. So classical China, I guess the eras, the age of history, according to some scholars of framework, this classical era starts from 1000 BC to 1500 AD. So it's like pre-industrialized age, a huge chunk where we have a recorded history, we have lots of thinkers, philosophers written down wisdoms passed down to us. So it's relatively easy for us to figure out what happened in that era. Okay, so Jun is today's focus. And I guess yesterday's is a good segue to today's concept because we just removed the 耳刀旁, the signifier for the place and the people. It's a unit of government or district, unit of land. You parse them together as an entity. You remove that, and then here we have just Jun by itself. And I don't mind repeating myself again. So Chinese capture the concept of ruler to communication function of the ruler, because the ruler have to govern, to rule, and to come up with rules to respond to situations. Um, so the ruler basically have many functions, right? But the observable behavior of the ruler is to communicate to not really the public, but in the past, the public is a different scale, I guess, because the ruler interfaced with the whole court of selected officials that serve as the almost like the sound chamber of the ruler to bounce off ideas, people who propose. So it's a kind of a collective ChatGPT back then, right? A group of people from different, I guess, families, different represented different interests, could be, right? Come from different regions, and they serve as this court of bring a think tank in front of the ruler to present ideas, to argue in front of the ruler, and then the ruler make their ultimate call. So that's what Jun at least presented to in a drama series that we historical dramas that we can observe. That's how it looked like, but maybe over histories, details change. But ruler is the ultimate decision maker, and ruler's job is to rule. And to rule, they have to tell you what to do. And this passing down the rules, this communication, then become the feature of the ruler when we describe a ruler. So communication, written and oral communication. So this verbal communication is described by the mouse symbol, and I corrected myself by learning more about what mouse symbol represented. Before, I just visualize it as a smiley face with upturned corner of the mouth, but it turned out the whole thing is a container, it's a food container, it's a cookware, and these two are the handles. And the cookware lead us to diners, lead us to eating, lead us to the function of the mouth, and then eventually become the mouth symbol. And of course, mouth, besides eating, can talk as well. So here becomes verbal communication symbol. The rest of it, three-finger hand symbol, reaching from the bottom of the screen like this. So this is your particularly right hand. So I guess in that sense, Chinese as a whole culture is very, I guess, biased that right hand, if we only have one hand symbol, most likely it's right hand. Right hand is the dominant hand here. And right hand is holding supposedly writing device. And I guess back then it was the brush, the ink and the brush. And probably throughout the history, different format of written communication tool that came up, different, I don't know, branding back then, but definitely this holding something so that you can write down and you can, especially I guess the rulers, probably throughout different regions on Earth, they shared some common features because only people who in that court can interface with the rulers and can hear like verbal communication can only go so far. So written communication with some signature like stamps or some sort of authentication to show that this is the true words from the ruler, and then that got transported on horse, right, passed to different regions. Jun, as we said, that the governing policy. So decision maker it serves as a Congress almost, right, and then passed down to different regions to execute the order. So That's ruler. We have 君主. Okay, so per the request of one of our audience that the pronunciations are marked on here. So this is the best format I can come up with, and it's not exactly matched. So I apologize for this visual, but I only have so much time that I can go through this as quickly as possible. So here, I hope, let me know if you can still see it and if it's bearable to see like this. So 君主, ruler, master. Easy to understand, right? Simply the ruler. So Chinese have this double lock of we're saying the same thing. Like who is the boss, right? Here we're talking about 主, master, and it may not be the ruler level. It can just be like between the two person, one person can be regarded as master, but over the whole country, only one ruler. So ruler, master, pair together still means ruler, but we double down on the message. 君王, again, we double down the message. You see the Wang and the Zhu, only one dot difference. And actually, it came from totally different thing. So master came from this candle holder. So master is the one who has the light in their hand, and which is almost like a mentorship. Like that person has the light with them, so they see better. So you want to follow the master. And the Wang is somebody who holds the staff, which is, I guess, decorated or whatever. And the staff, this big pool of things decorated, symbolized to mean they have the particular power over someone. So that becomes king. Fu Jun, however, so Fu in Chinese means grown man. And when you pair the grown man with a ruler, what that is, like, is a husband a ruler? But we know only one ruler in the country. So this is lower down, applied to a domestic setting that the wife can be plural form, wives and concubines of this one man can all address him as Fu Jun. So it's, I guess, a respective term to say you're not only my master, you're my ruler. And even if the legal status is husband, but I guess the moral, or I don't even know what, like interpersonal relationship analogy. Then back then, people coined this expression to mean that they expect a woman back then to regard their husbands as the ruler of the household. And I guess it can serve a purpose back then, so that the whole Confucius idea is about setting up rules, like who setting straight the pack order. So you follow where you're supposed to be. There is little this um, vertical pack order competition, as little as possible. So the whole system would be stabilized. And so in domestic domain, it would be wives expect to view their husband as the ruler, the ultimate decision maker. All right, so here is one of the most famous actors, played one of the most respected rulers throughout the history, 康熙大帝. So it's a Qing dynasty, the last dynasty, and because it's closer to today, so more material left. So we can kind of a render history to a better proximity, to show what a ruler will look like. Of course, a special attire and this ruler's decision as a decision maker. And you can see it's probably face a full court of people reporting to him, trying to make decisions. And I would say probably Jun, the ruler's job, is not that easy as the boss of the whole country. And some throughout history, there are different ruling styles. Some are more diligent, some are more letting go. So it's fun to see back then, back to history, that ruler is then got abstracted into their communication role only. All right, thank you for your time. See you another day.